ladies and gentlemen, to an all-new reaction and review. Tonight, guys, I'm checking out a film from 2012. That movie is The Raven. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, when I first saw the trailers for this thing a couple of years ago, it sounded really awesome. Now, for those of you who've never heard of this movie, have no idea what the hell the movie is even about. The plot has to do with a serial killer who's plotting or basing his kills after the works of famous author Edgar Allan Poe. And Edgar Allan Poe is trying to help the police figure out who the killer is and stop them before you can rack up an even larger body count. That sounds awesome to me, guys, on a whole host of levels. Partially because I am a fan of the work of Edgar Allan Poe. And if you were going to be a serial killer and you were going to model your kills after any writer's work, Poe is probably the best way to do it, because you get some really interesting kills doing that. I have no earthly clue if this movie is any good. I really hope that it is. But the only way I'm going to find out is if I shut up and I push play, and I'm going to do that right now. So, without further ado, it's time to kick back, relax, and check out The Raven. Okay, guys, so Poe is sort of a snobby asshole, but goddamn it, he's kind of sort of a lovable snobby, asshole. I'm actually kind of sort of liking him. Guys, I'm really sorry if I haven't been saying a whole lot. It's just, goddamn, guys, is this story ever friggin' good? I'm really hoping that it's able to stay this good for the whole film. I really fucking do, guys. Wow. Guys, just listening to Poe talk about how his wife died is kind of chilling. This is really fucking good, guys. Once more, guys, I really think I'm going to have to apologize for not saying much. Just, goddamn it, guys, this story is that fucking good. I am absolutely plastered to the fucking screen. I can't wait to see what happens next. Guys, it seriously is almost ghoulish to see how medicine was handled in the fucking 1840s. Just, wow, that was a little bit fucking dark. Well, I was not at all expecting them to work that part of Poe's life into this, but wow, that was incredibly tragic, guys. That actually is almost enough to bring a tear to my eye. That was really powerful. Okay, that was a really nice, satisfying fucking ending. Anyway, guys, that was The Raven. Let's shut that off. Wow. You know what, guys? I do not think I've had that kind of like whiplash in mood, that violent, in a long time. The movie, it just starts ending all dark and kind of sort of dour and dim, and then suddenly that ending, that closing 30 seconds, is guaranteed to bring a smile to the viewer's face. That was fucking awesome. Okay, let's talk about this movie, shall we? Holy shit, guys, writing. Now, when I first heard about this, and I heard it was going to be about a serial killer who was modeling his kills after the work of Edgar Allan Poe, I really thought it was just going to be a lazy-ass way of only working with Poe's better-known works. And granted, almost every one of his popular works gets, properly referenced in one way or another in almost every one of these deaths. But there also are a whole lot of hints and clues and even honestly a couple of kills that are not based on Poe's better known works. The person who wrote this went in depth into Poe's entire body of work and was pulling up random, almost forgotten Poe works. There actually is one point where Poe has to mention a story that he wrote, which was not one of his usual horror, poems or his, like gothic poetry. It was a fucking burlesque piece. I didn't even know that Poe wrote burlesque, for fuck's sake. But yeah, they were dipping into Poe's entire body of work, and it makes this film amazing because of it. Now, not only do we have the mountain of references to Poe's work, we also have the fact that our story here is very tightly written. The pacing in it here is awesome. Our characters here, you guys are going to grow to love Edgar Allan Poe within 30 seconds of meeting him, and all the way up until the end. He is still going to stand as probably one of your favorite characters in the entire movie, and the entire cast is just like this. Every member of the cast is deep and nuanced. The writing here is just so amazing that it is going to keep you glued to your screen for an hour and 50 minutes. This thing is definitely amazing solely on writing. And this, guys, is such a well-crafted mystery. You cannot look far. Guys, you have to look deep. You have to go out of your way to find a mystery, even half as well written as this, that has come out in the past 20 years. This thing is amazing. This thing is a monument of fantastic, beautifully written art. Now, not only do we have writing, which is stellar on a whole host of levels, the acting here is brilliant. The standout has to be John Cusack as Edgar Allan Poe. Guys, allow me to say this right now. Edgar Allan Poe, in this film, as he is trying to find this, killer, he goes through a bit of a nervous breakdown, and Cusack brings that breakdown to life, and you will see every twitch in his face, every single body movement is all the movements of a man slowly losing it, and it works so well. Cusack kills as Poe. He's absolutely spectacularly cast, and he turns in a fantastic showing. And the only problem with that is he turns in such a fantastic job that it kind of makes everybody else feel a little bit weaker, which is really saying a lot because the rest of the cast just turns in this stellar, amazing showing, but all of them are completely overshadowed by Cusack, and it makes everybody else come off just a little bit less off, because they cannot keep up with the sheer raw power that Cusack brings to Edgar Allan Poe. And mind you, guys, everything here is still awesome, but Poe's character and John Cusack are going to steal every scene that they are in. And you should really watch this, if for no other reason than to see probably the greatest performance that John Cusack will ever commit to film. This thing has spectacular acting, and John Cusack leads an incredibly strong cast. My God, guys, okay. Special effects. I know I've commented in the past about my absolute dislike of CG blood because it just doesn't work. This has one shot involving CG blood, and frankly, it works. It really does. It is one of those ultra rare instances when you can render blood in CG and it actually works for the scene, because you want to show the blood splatter up as the pendulum is cutting into its victim. This is like the second victim in the film, so this is way early on. And so they have the camera set up, and the blade swings at the camera, and the blade is trailing blood with it, and it just sort of sprays it outward, and it looks really good. Granted, it totally stands out from every other death which uses exclusively practical blood. However, that one shot, it looks so good, and the blood looks so close to being perfect, that honestly, I'm not going to fault it. It looked that good. Now we have that in terms of CG blood, but what about all of the practical effects? Well, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, our very first victim, is a woman whose head was almost fully cut off, and that one prop, or that one bit of makeup, it was probably a prop body, looked really good. And every time, guys, that we see cuts and blood spray and severed anything, it looks amazing. The people here went to great lengths to make these special effects look awesome, and they totally did. This thing, guys, absolutely knocks it out of the park in terms of special effects. Music, well, the music, guys, is just there, okay? And it does work, but it's not perfect. The music here could probably have been tightened up slightly. You could probably have used a little bit more music, honestly, because there actually are scenes which have very little, if nothing, in terms of music. And these guys are scenes where you kind of want a little bit of music to kind of sort of, punch up, the mood. Now, even though there are a couple of scenes which could have or probably should have been scored a little bit better, this film does know when to be silent, and it knows when not to put music in. And we will have scenes which are there to build tension, and instead of trying to drown it all out with music and try to build a real false tension that never feels right, they opt to go almost silent in terms of music and background sound that wouldn't come directly from whatever is on camera, and it works. It works so well, and I wish more movies would do this. I wish that more movies would learn that in certain scenes, in terms of music, less is more, because that is a huge problem with a ton of movies today, is they really just go out of their way to do everything in terms of music. Now, camera work here is really solid. The lighting here is fantastic. Costuming. I do have to talk about costuming because this is a period piece. This is a movie set in 1849. You want to make sure that everybody actually looks as if they're dressed like they're from 1849. And they do that very, very well here. Costuming is amazingly done. In fact, shit, I actually kind of wish I could get a couple of the suits here because they looked really sharp. Well, probably get them in my size naturally. Costuming here was spectacular. Guys, I'm going to tell you right now, I have seen a lot of mystery films in my life. This thing is probably one of the best, and because of that, I can absolutely recommend The Raven. This movie is awesome, and if you haven't seen it yet, please, by all means, guys, check it out. This movie is that good. The funny part about this, guys, I bought this thing at Family Video for $4. I had no idea what the hell I was getting into. That is probably the best $4 I've spent in a long time. This movie was that fucking good, and I am so happy that it's sitting it's going to be sitting in my Blu-ray collection, because I'm probably going to want to watch it again incredibly soon. This movie was that fucking amazing. Now, holy shit, guys! After watching this, I really want to go and read a lot more of Edgar Allan Poe's work. I'm gonna go find some. I'm gonna go do that right now, because god damn it, it's been a long time since I sat down and read anything of Poe's, and this film has shown me that I really should get back into it. Anyway, guys, with that, we come to the close of another reaction and review. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, take care, and I will see you all in the near future. Peace.